It's just a joke, isn't it? I don't know why we do these videos. Let's just use jumbo colossal grips. There are so many grip options out there. I'm just holding a few. Today, we want to get you guys in the right grip. Where do you start with this whole topic? What's important? Have you got an injury? Are you inspired by a tour player? Do you want to know what tour players do with their grips? This video is going to break it down piece by piece. I'm going to hit some golf shots with some fat grips, some skinny grips, we got all grips. We got every grip. And it's all coming to you right now. Sit down, take a pew, let's get on. Back in the day, David Ledbetter, amazing coach from the 90s, Champions Gate out there in Florida, he had this whole thing where he would taper the grips, and we would stand there and we'd put like 8 tapes at the bottom, 7 tapes, 6 tapes, in an attempt to take the taper out of the grip. Ernie Els had a specific grip makeup. Nick Faldo got so particular about overlapping tapes. Bring it forward, you'd have guys like Dustin Johnson building up the grip. Scotty Scheffler doesn't like a mid-size because of how squeezy, how squidgy the durometer of that grip, wants it to feel a certain way, has to have a certain number of tapes with then a regular grip on to build it up. So there are many ways to skin a cat, just like there are many ways to get the perfect grip for your game. It is your touch point with the golf club. You better get it right, because however these hands go on here, which is important to me as a fitter, then impact how this face reacts at impact, which then obviously dictates how your day's going to go, which really in turn puts how happy you're going to be, which then means the mood you're coming home to your wife in is either going to be great because you shot a great round of golf, or horrific, or because you got the wrong grips on. That's how important this video is. It could change your whole life. For the sake of the video, I've got 3 6 irons, all with KBS golf shafts in. I've pre-bent the loft and the lie so they're in the game. But check this out now. I've got a oversized lambkin that I think we put 3 tapes on. Then I've got a +4 in the Golf Pride line, and I've got my Tour Velvet that I play. A grip I have been trying out is the Grip Master, which is the leather grip, and it was a little bit thicker than the Tour Velvets, and I didn't mind it. In the past as a player, I've always tried to go a little bit thicker. When I get on the range, I like the feel of it, but on the golf course, I lose the sensation of those golf shots that I like to hit. Now, what does it give you if you do go thicker? I believe, and from testing, that if you go slightly thicker, it takes the pressure off the grip. We're just chatting to Aero, works here at the Kingdom. When he sees guys with wrist injuries or with tennis elbow or perhaps sore shoulders, the pressure and the build-up of squeezing so tight because the grip is small causes pressure in the forearms, pressure in the elbows, pressure in the shoulders. Then all of a sudden you get injuries. So if you're struggling with wrist injuries or you're struggling with that tennis elbow, you probably want to start to build up the grip. As we get into varying grips, and let's just use the examples I've got here, you can see with the multi-compound, which is the name of this grey one, the +4, that it has a softer right hand or left hand, lower hand, shall we say, if you are either left or right, softer feel. So when you get a bit more touch and feel in your right hand, that can be a bit more sensitive for chipping. That was the whole purpose of this thing. Then it has half cord on the left, which happens to be the hand where the right hander wears a glove, so that holds everything in place. This particular grip does have the rib or the ridge down the back as well. So you better be a swordsman when it comes to putting these puppies on, because if you get it offline, then the face isn't square and you can hit it everywhere. Coming back to the importance of the grip, the importance of the decal on top of this and how you set up to it and what you like to see. Because you'll notice here they've put this red castle shape with the point over the top, which is for the right hand, for the right-handed golfer, the lower hand, to then sit perfectly on the grip in relation to the decal. So there's your first actual physical checkpoint. Do you like the decal on the grip? Do you need it to get your grip perfect? And then when you lift that grip up, the old adage would be, if I take the gamer that I use, this presses into the fleshy pad as I grip it with my top hand. So I underline Golf Pride through the grip, through the middle of the thumb, then it presses together and has a slight touch. If I go for the built up grip, now there's less and I can't grip it as tight. And when I put the right hand on, especially in this product being the +4, which means they've taken the taper, so all these grips will taper this way. The +4 has no taper, so they've built that up because tour players were putting 2 on the left, 2 tapes on the left to build it up to get rid of the taper. Now Golf Pride took care of it, other companies have followed. Now you have this wider right hand. The only issue with that is if you're a player that likes to release the golf club, the old adage would have been that thicker grips don't allow you to release the golf club as easily. Now, again, we've done robot testing, well, player testing here at the Kingdom, and we've seen that rate of rotation isn't really impacted by the grips. But I think it comes back to a point of personal feel and how far do you have to go. It's the same as swing weights, which are head weights. How many do you have to add in order to improve the efficiency of the speed off the face? The same when it comes to length. How far do you have to go to make a difference? And that's where a great fitter can interact with you as a player and find out where you're at. Now, one thing to call out massively here when you do these larger grips, this swing weight has dropped significantly because this head weight is made for a grip that's more like the size I'm playing. When I put on the heavier grip and the additional tape, you then lose some of that feel in the head. So you must be careful with that because you lose the balance point. But let's hit one down there and see. I've got a launch monitor in here, my full swing kit. Let's just see if the rotation changes. So for me, building up the right hand, it's hard for me to get my right hand on top. So I really struggle with that. That would be my personal feel. Rate of closure usually is pretty quick for me. I might see a little less here with the built up grip. But that's pretty typical, Q. Down the banner, best 6-iron of it in the last year and a half. Brilliant. Let's just use jumbo colossal grips. I mean, unbelievable. However, I've gone through this test a few times. I have horrific elbow pain from using grips that I think are too small. But whenever I put extra tape on, I struggle on the golf course. So it's not an issue for me to stand here with a cricket bat type grip, baseball for our US boys, and basically rip one down there. But that was good. Definitely feels too thick in the right hand. Again, I'm looking to slow down the rate of rotation, which I feel would be a bit easier, but that's a feel because I think we've covered that. It's a more of a myth now. It's just a joke, isn't it? I don't know why we do these videos. So there's two absolute stripes for you down the banner with a grip that feels so thick that I can just about get my right hand round it. But I'll be honest, the elbow pain, I've only hit a couple of balls, but I feel like I could hit them for a while. But the call out, getting a bit more serious here, think about how soft the right hand is, and think about how over you want to get that right hand. If I get a little underneath, then I can get overly rotated. So that would be my worry about going here. Then we can go into, I mean, this is just oversized from Lampkin, colossal. Notice the decal. It's got the ridge there. You might look at that in the golf shop and think, well, that's pretty, that's what I want. No, that's for your thumb to go in position. And then this is to help guide your right hand. I think there might be some taper in this, not 100% sure, but oversized plus, I mean, there's two papers on this. So you've now got an extremely thick grip. So again, your basketball players coming in here, you guys with huge hands or massive injuries, this is where you want to go. But another call out that this would be too thick for me. Notice now there's a gap between lead finger, index finger and thumb. That's hard for me to close up. If I go back to actually what I play, it's very easy for me to get a great grip on this. Like that can be closed there. I can easily get under that. This tip touches as I put this hand on, no problem. Obviously more head weight here now. You know this is going to be the world's worst golf shot purely based on the fact that I hit the thick grip so well. I definitely feel like I need to go thicker, by the way. Not quite released like the other one. Still the first few golf shots of the day. But I'm having to lean on my personal feels. Looking at the launch monitor, everything looks pretty similar. They've all gone out there around low 160s in carry, 3.5 right on the path, which is always nice to see when I'm swinging early. But the bottom line is the call outs for you, the golfer, are how much does this fleshy pad touch? I think this is a non-negotiable. I think you have to have, and I'll highlight it with a Sharpie for you because I want to be red for Liverpool. I'm talking about knuckle here to the crease. So this line here, I don't want, if I go down the middle here, I don't want there to be the gap. So you see, I can see the Sharpie there. I want that covered up. That's non-negotiable, because that then gets that left hand in the right position. And I think if you're watching this as a beginner, the grip is so important. This particular grip, it's an old classic, has no real decal on it. I think these more modern offerings give you so much more to guide your hands into the perfect position, even with this bigger line at the back. But as we get into the oversize, you can see now I'm struggling to close that out. I mean, this would be really difficult for me to use. There was a test out there that thicker grips, could they help with speed? Well, let's take a look. I mean, we've got last couple of shots. I've got 89.7 club speed on that one, 93 on the shot before, 91. So the two thicker grips were actually a bit quicker, which is interesting. I've never thought of it that way. But again, I'm struggling with this oversized one just to get my hands even onto the thing. But I'm absolutely ripping them. So maybe I'm putting oversize on everything. Speed's jumped up to 93. I mean, there's your video. I don't know what to tell you. So this has been eye-opening for me, at least, because now I'm actually in a test session for if I want to go really thick grips, which I definitely feel like I don't, but they're coming out great. And I think that there's an eye-opener for you. Mine are rubbish, and the oversized ones are brilliant. Not maybe what we expected, Q, but the point is there's some serious stuff in here for a second, that you have to have the grip on the golf course that you like. And I couldn't play that oversized. I couldn't play that +4, but I could definitely go to something thicker. I feel like I will. And I think you should, if you can have the luxury of going just a bit thicker each time you re-grip. When you step on the tour truck and you open that cabinet, we've got the Team Taylormade best athletes in the game listed right there, plus a few others. Then we have their grip types, but notice how everyone's slightly different. There's one plus one. You got Colin Morikawa building up woods and then not building up irons, different grip configuration for his wedges. You got Scotty with 4 or 5 tapes on there. You got Rory having it the certain way he wants. Then you've got the build-up tape versus the sticky tape versus the double-sided tape. There are a lot of options. What I'm saying is, if we get that custom with the best players in the world, then why aren't we getting that custom with you? This area can really impact you as a golfer. It's an important factor because it's your touch point with the club, which then impacts ball flight. Nice. Check the speed, 91. So that's back up into the 90 on the club speed. Just wanted to see I could get that and confirm that, which is why I hit a few. But I think it doesn't necessarily come back anymore to thicker grips mean it's tough to release. Thinner grips you over release. I think it comes back to the stage of check the left hand, the top hand for the left hander or right hander. Keep the gap closed, and when you put the right hand on, ensure you can get the correct V there so your grip is good. Because as much as this feels nice, it eases grip pressure for sure, definitely too thick. And this one might be closer, but I'd have to be on the golf course to truly tell. And I think if you are re-gripping, be conscious if you go to mid-size or 4 tapes, you could impact your swing weight. I think go bigger slowly. So each time you re-grip, which you should be doing once a year. I mean, I'm due a re-grip. I'm going to try and get into thicker grips for sure. And I'll just go 1 tape up rather than much, much bigger. And then the durometer, that's the call out. And all these great designs are brilliant, but try and get one that really can get you in a cracking position with your hands. One more. See if I could play this. Feels big, like this is hardly touching. Look at that. That is the non-negotiable for me. When you start getting that, it's just not going to work. No point in even hitting it, because it's not going to work long term. I know we've joked about it, had some success here, and the divots are nice, which is great, but you can't get the gap there between the 2 lines, because that will cause issues with the grip. That's non-negotiable for me. And then on tour, look, as mentioned, they build up in various areas, and if you've got the luxury that you can do that, go for it. Build up those grips. And if you do want to go into something that's maybe a little heavy, a little different, like the Grip Master, this is a bit softer. I've liked it. Very tacky. But remember the swing weights, you've just got to keep an eye on what you're doing with that, which is the balance point. Then you can get the perfect grip for your game. It's a fun exercise, left hand's the one you got to watch, and not the touching of the fleshy pad, but the grip between the two lines. Any questions, any comments, fire it in below. If you think I should get into jumbo grips and just ignore what I've seen here, get in the comments below. I know that's going to be the comment we're about to talk about. Q&I, that's our conversation in the next 5 minutes. Maybe you think the same. If you like what you've seen, as always, subscribe. There's plenty more to come. That's how I would look at grips. I think it's important for your game. It's your connect point with the club. Massive, massive topic. Make sure you get it right.